Hello folks and welcome to the F1 Corner. Free practice session for the Spanish Grand Prix just finished. It's now time to take a look at the big events during those practice and who are the leading team and what can we expect from this race. So it's worth noting that we are in Spain this weekend in August, so it's really warm and really humid. It's midsummer compared to the usual race which usually occurs in May, where it's more cold. So in hindsight, with everything that we know so far, it should be at Mercedes' disadvantage. But the tires allocation for this weekend are a harder compound, so it could help them a little bit. So let's just check quickly the results from the practice this morning. It was in fact dominated by Mercedes, but here we're gonna put some brackets because it is practice, so they can afford to run stuff that they would not in qualifying or in the race. They did not do 60 run in a row or even 30 on one set of tires, so it's tough to know where things stand. One thing that stood out for everyone is that the hard tire seems to have no grip at all, or almost no grip. Drivers complaining all the way, but they will also have to use it probably during the race because the soft tire will just degrade so quickly. You cannot really expect it to be useful during the race, and the medium is somewhere in between. So Mercedes, yeah, on top on both sessions, first and second, alternating between Bottas and Hamilton. If we look at Red Bull, Verstappen finished third in both sessions. Good result for Verstappen, who will hope to challenge the Mercedes this weekend again, with the warm condition being more favorable to the Red Bull than the Mercedes. Alex Albon still struggling at the moment, no better than 8 in the first practice session, finished 13 in the afternoon. He wants to show that he can do what Max is doing, of course. He needs to focus on his own job, just put the car where it needs to be, not trying to overdo things. But Albon still looking like a struggle potentially this weekend. Ferrari, not too bad. Fourth this morning for Leclerc and fifth for Vettel. In the afternoon, looking a little bit worse, if we can say so, but we expected the time to go down for pretty much all the teams, considering that in the afternoon the temperatures were scorching hot, closer to what we will see in the race. Vettel getting a new chassis this weekend after they apparently found some issues on the one he used at Silverstone. Would it put him more at ease with the car, giving him back some confidence? We'll see. In any case, it's going to be interesting to just see if Vettel can do something with his car this weekend, and if Leclerc can still challenge for fourth, fifth, maybe even third, depending on the circumstances. But Ferrari not looking too bad so far. Racing Point, the team that everyone's been talking about for the last few weeks, not looking really strong this weekend, at least during practice. Sergio Perez making a comeback. We are all happy about that. Finished in front of his teammate Lance Stroll in both practice sessions, 7 and 8. He wants to, of course, make up for the last time. 2 races without getting championship points will hurt Sergio, but I think he's just happy to be back in the car. Can Racing Point come back on top this weekend? It's going to be tough to see. They look strong in Barcelona in February in colder condition during the winter testing. But now that we are back in August, warm conditions, if it's a copy of the Mercedes, it's going to be tough. We know that last year they had, not Racing Point, but Mercedes had a similar problem with the cooling. And if Racing Point is a copy of last year's Mercedes, well, they will inherit at at least part of their problem. So after the morning session, Racing Point not looking to be on top of the mix, but still could be fighting for points. And again, just looking forward to see Perez making his comeback. Renault looking this morning quite awful, but this afternoon surprisingly strong. Daniel Ricciardo doing the 4th best time during the afternoon practice. Ocon 9th. For Esteban Ocon, the struggle here is still to get these one lap or few quick laps all in a row. He has not been in a Formula 1 car for over a year, so that this is where he struggled, just finding the pace, the confidence to just push over the limit when you absolutely need to. Because in the race, he's there. He's having good result in racing. But this is where he needs to work. But Renault overall at this stage looking relatively strong, at the very least in the mix. Even Ricciardo qualifying the car of a definite Q3 car at this point. So they could very well cause a bit of a surprise this weekend. Who knows? McLaren, I think it's going to be a little bit tough for them again this weekend. It seems that they've gone backward since the beginning of the season. They started strong, but for the last 2-3 races they have just been going down and down. Best place during practice, 7th in FP2 for Carlos Sainz. Other than that, Lando Norris struggling, 13-14 in both sessions. And it just looks like, McLaren needs to work a bit more. Maybe some upgrades that they brought are just not working. But that's Formula 1. If it's not working well, you are going backward and you're not just staying where you are. But McLaren, in the mix for some points probably, but not the biggest points if we just look at practice. The surprise today was Haas. They are looking strong this weekend. Grosjean finishing 6th and 5th in both practice sessions. Kevin Magnussen getting a 9th this morning. It's gonna be interesting. Haas deserve definitely to be in the mix, and we've seen it in the first few races that it's true that they don't have qualification pace, but in the race, if they can get into the top 10, they can hold their ground. They have a good car overall. It's just that they need to figure out what's going wrong during qualifying in order to just start higher and be in the points. But Haas, check them this weekend. I think they could cause a very big surprise looking at the practice results. And last 3 teams who are going to be a bit struggling, I believe, this weekend. Let's start with Alfa Romeo. Kimi Raikkonen said that it's not as simple as just changing a few bits and pieces and setups. It seems that the car has something that's fundamentally wrong at the moment. He still believes that they can work with the setup and make it into the points, but it looks like a struggle this weekend again in Barcelona. Best place in both practice combined was Giovinazzi in 15th, so it's rough for Alfa Romeo. AlphaTauri again, it's one of those teams that can be there and can be not there. Nobody knows where they are actually. If both drivers get everything, can put everything together, they will finish probably both in the top 10. But it seems like it's always going well for one and not good for the other, and it's never the same depending on the race. Best result for AlphaTauri in practice, a 10th for Pierre Gasly this afternoon. This is a bit more representative of maybe of where they will be in the race because of the weather condition, a lot hotter in the afternoon. But AlphaTauri not impressive, but yeah, if they can get everything right, could be in contention for those last few points, 9th or 10th maybe. midfield is really jam-packed. Pretty much since last year, it's just an improvement of last year that we have in 2020 with all the teams fighting together. And Williams really looking like it's going to be a very, very tough weekend. This morning, Roy Nissany, reserve driver for Williams, run in place of George Russell, giving him a little bit of Formula One experience. But Russell was back this afternoon. But in both practice, both Williams in last place, 19 and 20. And it's just like, yeah, they're struggling, cannot find pace, cannot get grip with those tires. Tires are going to be an issue for everyone, but it's going to be worse for some and better for others. In all cases, the hard tire seems to be a problem for almost everyone. So it's going to be, I believe, an intriguing qualifying session and definitely an exciting race if we have tire degradation similar to what we saw in Silverstone last week or for the last 2 weeks. Mercedes probably still a bit at an advantage, of course, because of their car overall. But I think depending on how things unfold, they can still be challenged by Red Bull and Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc shown that he can do miracles last week in Silverstone, the last 2 weeks in Silverstone. And maybe he could also be a podium contender this weekend, who knows. One thing's for sure, usually Barcelona is where we see pretty much where everyone really stands because it is the winter testing track. It's a track that everybody knows. And because it has a little bit of everything in terms of fast corner, slow corner, straights. If you're good in Barcelona, you're usually good pretty much everywhere, or you have a good package. So it's going to be interesting to see this weekend where everyone stands in this Formula One grid order. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like and hit the subscribe button. I'm counting on you to help me develop this channel. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What can I improve? And I will see you again after the qualifying session of the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Thank you everyone and have a good day.